Today FM is awesome in Ba. We love you, Today FM.
Today FM rocks in the story, and I love listening to Today FM.
Today FM is #1 in Telew.
Today FM rocks in Otaka.
Woohoo!
Today FM is the most popular station in Asino.
We love everything about Today FM here at Golden Point Reki Reki.
Everybody in Singapore loves Today FM.
Today FM rocks in Ba.
Bulan 2 sa Tolu FM, enapan 2 Raki-Raki.
Bula FM namban 2 in Nosor.
Go etabo ke bota kola sa Bula FM nga.
Bula FM namban 2 Korbu.
Bula FM namban 2 Sawa. Bula FM namban 2 Lotoka. Bula.
Namban 2 ng Bula FM member.
Bula FM namban 2 NSR in Singapore.
Kalau talita kada warung ng Bula FM Lotoka.
Ali akar warung Bula FM namban 2 NSR.
On FBC News tonight, Fiji hosts major SPC meetings. New taxi co-op receives praise from Prime Minister today. And FEA says divestment of shares is part of ongoing restructure. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and you're watching FBC News. Government authorities in Ba have shut down a private water supply in the district, believed to be the cause of an outbreak of disease in at least 4 settlements. The chairman of the Ba Advisory Council, Pile, confirmed this to FBC News this morning. Around 100 residents of Vatusui, Nukuloa Back Road, part of Mbalevuto, Navavi and Moto have been diagnosed with symptoms of leptospirosis and hepatitis A. The Water Authority of Fiji is now supplying water to the affected areas as well as schools, including Nukuloa College and Nukuloa Primary. The affected settlements have been supplied with 9 water tanks. Pile said following a meeting with authorities yesterday, doctors have confirmed more people are coming in with symptoms. Accounts clerk Ronil Chand took the stand in the High Court in Suva today to relate the circumstances surrounding the death of his wife in February 2011. Chand is alleged to have poured kerosene on Karishma Nath and set her on fire following an argument at their residence in Asinu. He told the court that he loved his wife and had no intention of murdering her. Chand said at about 10 o'clock on the morning of February 19, 2011, he was awoken by his wife screaming and saw she was on fire. He said he ran outside and tried to pour water on his wife to extinguish the flames. He took the stand after the prosecution informed the court that it had concluded its case after producing all its witnesses. Chand's lawyer told the court they wanted to proceed as Chand wanted to present more supporting witnesses in his defense. The trial continues. Fiji is hosting the Committee of Representatives of Governments and Administrations meeting. The 43rd meeting convened at the Valinimbose complex at Nasese in Suva this morning. Fiji's roving ambassador Lithia Mawi said Fiji will use the meeting to prepare itself for the inception of the Sustainable Development Goals following the expiration of the Millennium Development Goals in 2015.
So Fiji is going to push for that along with the other island countries to ensure that they are more streamlined. The SPC is more streamlined, and I think it's in the interest too of the Director General. We heard from his report this morning to ensure that when he hands over the baton of leadership to the new Director General, he's got a clean house so that the new Director General just walks in and hits the ground running.
On the position of the new Director General for the SPC, Mawi says Fiji's applicant might still be in contention.
There was one, but there's been some shortlisting and some interviews and some selection process. Now we're just going to recommend 3 to the CRGA, who will then pass it on to the conference.
The meeting is being held in Fiji for the first time. The outgoing Director General of the Secretariat of the Pacific Community says much has been achieved under his 17 years of leadership. Dr. Jimmy Rogers said this while presenting his final report to the Committee of Representatives of Governments and Administrations, which commenced in Suva this morning.
The other announced.
Dr. Jimmy Rogers, who spent 8 years as head of the SPC, says the organization has moved from strength to strength since 1996 and managed to implement one of the toughest political decisions in its history. These included the reorganization of certain regional organizations to come under the SPC umbrella.
The frustrations were the expectation that this could be done overnight, could be finished within the year. The reality is that legal processes take a lot longer. And the reality is that where you have organizations that were performing reasonably well, why change? Many were not convinced of the change.
Another key achievement during his term was the ability to separate the role of conference of CRGA from the executive, which allowed the Director General to take charge of the organization.
It should not be decentralization for the sake of decentralization. It should be strategic, and it should be done where differences can be made, where there is a balance between the cost of decentralization and the effectiveness of the actual decentralization. And I think we've achieved that.
Dr. Rogers added one other major achievement was the ability to decentralize SPC's work in the Pacific, to move services closer to the people.
You, as our governing body, are doing a role of looking at our strategic direction, the effectiveness of the organization, the kind of things we do or don't do, the accountabilities, and you're already doing that, but I think it can lift up a notch.
The highlight of this 43rd CRGA meeting is the appointment of a new Director General for the Secretariat of the Pacific Community. The shortlisted name of candidates will be presented here on Thursday or Friday this week before they are recommended to the CRGA Council next week, where some of the ministers from the Pacific Islands and also head of governments will be attending to confirm a name to the position. Mikolonga, FBC News.
A taxi cooperative operating in Nausori has received praise from the Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama for being a model of unity. The Vevueti taxi co-op started last year and now has close to 50 taxis and a minibus. Apisalome Dhoka was at the opening of the taxi base today.
The Vevueti Taxi Cooperative was formed by a group of taxi drivers who wanted more than just providing service to the public. Their concept is to help drivers earn enough income and to save it to lift their livelihood.
It's a great example of ordinary Fijians coming together to help themselves and each other. You haven't waited for government or someone else to suggest an idea or come up with a plan. You've done it yourselves.
Bainimarama says co-op members should be proud that their initiative is bound to be a model for others.
This happens to be the principle we have adopted for the entire nation, that Fiji can only ever be great if we are united. One nation in which no one is left behind and every Fijian has the same opportunity to get on in life.
Vevueti aims to have all its drivers own a taxi and permit. We have been driving for taxi owners for a very long time. Today, we have formed a co-op which is open to all Fijians, and we have put our foot down that we can work together and each own a taxi. That is our goal. At the same time, lift the standards of our living.
I wasn't privy to the background of its setting up until this morning. When I heard it, I was very privileged, I must say. It's been quite an effort on their part, and I have to congratulate them.
Vevueti Taxi Co-op will receive another 30 taxi permits from the Land Transport Authority in a few weeks' time to raise the number of their rides to 80. Apisalome Dhoka, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, squatters ready to move into new housing units.
Always Gold FM for us at Golden Point, Raki Raki.
Gold FM is #1 in Lusaka.
Gold FM is Nandi's best radio station.
It's always Gold FM with us here in Singatoka.
Old is gold, and Gold FM is #1 here in Lautoka.
Singatoka loves classic hits on Gold FM.
We listen to Gold FM here in Tagua.
We love Gold FM in Ba.
We've got beautiful beaches, people, and Gold FM in Raki Raki.
Lautoka loves the classic hits on Gold FM.
Talita na radio Fiji One na mwirani nondo kunua.
Ando talita kana borrongo na radio Fiji One Singatoka mbuleta ni station ni Alumatua.
Ando talita ka bale una borrongo na radio Fiji One station ni Alumatua Lautoka.
Ando talita ka bale una borrongo na radio Fiji One Mandi na station ni Alumatua.
Au tu ko korbo. Ando borrongo leve na station ni Alumatua na radio Fiji One.
Ando borrongo na radio Fiji One na station ni Alumatua na mandoi tele.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. The divestment of shares by the Fiji Electricity Authority is part of its ongoing restructuring. FEA Chief Executive Hasmukh Patel says government might retain 51% of shares, while 49% will go on the stock list. Vusita Kotewasawasa reports.
The Fiji Electricity Authority is not saying much on the divestment of its shares and whether it will involve overseas shareholders. The company says it's too early to talk of the effects on consumers.
If it can affect the rates both ways. So it's very early to say that the stock listing of FEA will impact the tariff or not. It's too early to say.
The divestment also means consumers can buy shares.
What it means to the consumers is the consumers can buy the shares as well. I mean, if the consumers buy the shares, they'll want a return on their investment, isn't it? So the consumers also have an opportunity to invest into FEA then.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General Ayaz Zayed Qayyum says the Prime Minister Verengem Bainimarama earlier confirmed that they are not going for full divestment of government interests.
That obviously will be negotiated with the parties that may be involved. But at the end of the day, it's not also about simply selling the shares or divesting the shares. It's to get a good partner in the sense that you need a company that already has a proven track record, is financially a very sound company, has got funds available to invest, will bring specific management skill sets.
Zayed Qayyum says it's all about lifting the standard of returns for government to ensure that people get the benefits. Vusita Kotewasawasa, FBC News.
The resettling and upgrading of houses for Fijians living in informal settlements is progressing well. Government has provided $5 million for various squatter projects, out of which $3 million will be used to complete the ongoing project at Jitu Estate. Ritika Pratap reports.
Approximately $4.5 million has been spent on this Langi-Langi housing project undertaken by People's Community Network.
Only the first two parts of phase one have been done. We want to continue and finish all phase one and then move to phase two over here. That will probably go at least till the end of next year.
This land previously housed squatters who had to move out and make way for the development. And Father Ba has assured they will be given the first chance to occupy the new flats. But they have certain criteria to meet.
As far as possible, the people who were here before will go back to this site. But that depends. If they've got houses elsewhere, well, they're not eligible. Or if they're earning a high income, well, they're not eligible.
These are 3-bedroom and 2-bedroom units, and it also has special units for the elderly and the physically disabled. Some squatters are already looking forward to move in.
Long time I'm staying here. All these people they come about some only not more than 10 years.
For us in living Jitu Estate, because we live here for so long, like it's a dream come true.
In the next few weeks, 32 families will move into the units that is already completed. The Langi-Langi housing project, once completed, will have 143 units, a community hall and kindergarten, a small produce market and a taxi stand. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
While the focus is on free education for primary and secondary school students, the government's education reforms do not stop there. Speaking on our current affairs program For the Record on Sunday night, the Attorney General said Form 7 students who have been accepted into universities can now also apply for a government loan to fund their tertiary studies.
It's called the Tertiary Education Loan Scheme. The new government plan to assist students and will cover the full cost of tuition for those who need it.
They will go to the university. The university will get their TIN number, so everybody gets their TIN number immediately, so hooked onto the system. And you go off and that fees is paid by the government directly to the university.
The interest charged for loan repayment will vary according to the student's family income, and recipients won't have to repay the loan until after they have graduated and secured employment. Students currently on ETOK, multi-ethnic and PSC scholarships will not be affected.
Those students who are already on the scholarships, we have a legal obligation to ensure that we pay for the scholarship right to the end of the courses. But no new scholarships will be offered to anybody under those schemes.
The country's largest tertiary institution, the Fiji National University, says This initiative will also help stop school dropouts.
Everyone who wants to study would have access to funds. One of the major problems in the past was access of parents and students to tuition money, and that saw a lot of people dropping out or not completing the exams or just taking on other lesser preferred vocations.
In addition to this initiative, the 600 top place getters from secondary schools automatically qualify for a full scholarship for study in areas of special skills. The rest can apply for the tertiary education loan scheme. $30 million is being set aside for this program. Eleanor Turangai View, FBC News.
We turn to sports now, and Jamie's back tonight with the latest.
Good evening. Coming up after the break, the Bailey's Coral Coast Sevens Trophy Tour started today, and Waisale Serevi is nothing but excited about this year's tournament. Stay with us for the details.
Pato Bahe, Bame Radio Fiji 2 के कौन सा के रोके ऑनलाइन क्लियर
रेडियो फीजी 2 रगरगी के लोग ज्यादा सुनते हैं।
नेंडी में हम सबकी पसंद रेडियो फिजी 2।
तालेबू के लोग रेडियो फीजी 2 सबसे ज्यादा सुन रहे हैं।
मेरी पसंद रेडियो फिजी 2, नसूरी में सभी को पसंद रेडियो फिजी 2। तावा में रेडियो फिजी 2 सभी कोई सुनते हैं।
रेडियो फीजी 2 रॉक।
रेडियो फीजी 2 आई लव यू।
तावा में इट्स ओनली मिर्ची एफएम। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। ताकि हर घर में खाली मिर्ची एफएम बजे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
बेस्ट साउंड, बेस्ट म्यूजिक, मिर्ची एफएम रॉक्स एंड रेकॉर्ड।
नानी का नंबर 1 स्टेशन है मिर्ची एफएम। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। मिर्ची एफएम इट्स नंबर 1 इन नर्सरी।
मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हम लोग मिर्ची एफएम रोज सुनता है। मिर्ची एफएम डागो मामा।
Welcome back to FBC Sports. The most renowned player in the Sevens world, Waisale Serevi, says Fijian players are naturally gifted when it comes to the abbreviated code. Serevi, whose side will feature in the Bailey's Coral Coast tournament this week, says he expects nothing less than 3 days of exciting sevens at the meet. Indra Singh caught up with Serevi today.
2 days out from the start of the Bailey's Coral Coast Sevens, and Fijian players have been given the extreme thumbs up. And this coming from a man who has not only played but dazzled the Sevens code around the world.
We have the Sevens players. When you see a player playing on the field, he's a 7 players. He might be difficult for him to play. Take for instance Lepani Nambuluang or William Ryder or Pio Tuai. Those are players that are Sevens player that you don't need to mold.
Already glad to be back home, Serevi adds one player who needs to be closely looked at is former national halfback Emosi Vudango.
He has been playing well. I thought he was going to go to the World Cup, but he didn't go because of, like I'm saying, the selection criteria. But anyway, this is a great opportunity. From my point of view, Emosi, Vudango, even William Rasilaka, they are good Sevens players.
Tagged as the king of the code, Serevi has also welcomed the decision by national coach Ben Ryan to pick his side from the tournament for Dubai and South Africa.
I'm happy about is that the opportunity of coming to the Sevens, the boys that are coming to play Sevens this weekend know that the selection door is open. That's why it will be an exciting event. Players will be vying for position to play for Fiji.
So it's time for action, and who knows, we could have the next great in the making right here in Fiji. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, former England star Ben Gollings, who will play for the Serevi Selects, says he's looking forward to the tournament. Gollings, who is Serevi's business partner as well, says it will be great to have a run again this year after playing in the 2012 tournament.
Well, it's exciting, you know. It's a great opportunity for us to be able to put a team together and come and compete at these tournaments. And it's quite nice for me still to be on the field, running around, kind of marshalling things off from the field of play, and we've got Wise on the touchline marshalling it from the sideline. So it's a great opportunity for both of us, and I know we're both really looking forward to it.
Gollings will join Emosi Budango, Sea Kolinisau and Benedito Masilevu in the Serevi coach side. Also earlier this afternoon, the trophy tour for the Bailey's Coral Coast Sevens got underway. It was a chance for the public to see the trophies which will be played for during the tournament. Fans also got a chance to mingle with Waisale Serevi and Ben Gollings, as well as get autographs and photographs with the two stars. The time has come for the big sporting challenge of the year between the Fiji Police Force and the Fiji Military Forces. It's the Sakuna Bowl Challenge, and the hosting side, as always, promises to make it bigger and better than ever before. With police being the current holders, the Army Brigade are not too keen on letting them have their way again as the annual event heads into its 63rd year. Elena MacDonald reports.
The challenge has been laid.
We are training ourselves to kill. We are preparing ourselves to conquer. We are here to take the soils and the sands back to Kiwi. Enjoy the last 25 days of this Schooner Bowl. On the 6th of December, the Schooner Bowl goes back to where it belongs.
And it's been accepted with open arms.
Getting the Scotch seal, getting the Panigrama, getting all the parts to the sober. That was our training field. The skills and all this, that was we have achieved this. And the final one will be, the ball will remain at the sober.
The Sakuna Bowl Challenge heads into year 63, and with it, a new website for the whole competition for all sports involved. And even a Facebook page catered for all those serving abroad to feel as if they were back home enjoying the rivalry event. As for now, Army looks on. Only time will tell who emerges victorious next month. Elena MacDonald, FBC Sports.
Vodafone Fiji Mbati forwards Coben Sims and Jason Bukuya could miss the Rugby League World Cup quarter-final against Samoa. Sims faces a 2-week suspension for a dangerous tackle on England's James Graham last Sunday.
There's probably one that we've got to check a bit later in the week. Corbin Sims is facing a possible 2-week ban for a dangerous tackle. So they're probably our two of the majors. I think most of the other boys come through all right, and hopefully we'll get a few boys coming back from injury coming back into the team this week as well.
Coach Rick Stone added that he is proud of the team effort and what it has achieved so far.
We're not disappointed with our effort. We're really proud of our boys' effort. We know our execution and our defensive reads and, kicking game and a few other things need to improve. And, we're working as hard as we can on those sort of things. We can only do as much as we can, and absolute effort is all we can ask from the players, and that's what we're getting at the moment.
Fiji takes on Samoa 4 a.m. on Monday. That's it from Sports Tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
The South Pacific Tourism Organization is actively working on developing tourism and hospitality in the South Pacific. SPTO CEO Ilisoni Buinraketi says a lot of tourists from different countries have shown interest in Fiji, and this leads to increasing the tourism economy.
Tourism in the Pacific region, we find, is an important sector that remains to be a growth sector. It continues to grow all the time. If you look at, for example, if you take Fiji, they've gone over 600,000 visitors from 2011 and 2012.
The marketing programs of SPTO are targeted to advertise Pacific Island destinations so that it can attract more tourists on the Pacific shores. Weather time now in Jen. Despite the rain, we did have some sunshine today.
Yes, we did, and I'm sure that it was a huge shock for many, considering yesterday's forecast. However, it wasn't all sunshine and roses for everyone this morning. Just the truly sunny ones, as usual, while Suva, Savu and Lambasa over here experienced cloudy conditions. Eventually, the rain did set in after lunch. So who had the coolest and the warmest temperatures today? Looking at the chart, it's the capital with a slight chill on 29 degrees, while Nandi and Lambasa take the lead on 32. Yep, here they are. Good news, the Met Office managed to get a reading for all centers today. And what does the future hold? Okay, maybe we're getting too ahead of ourselves here. we'll just stick with tomorrow's weather. You can see a lot of cloudiness in the morning, some showers for Suva, and inevitably thunderstorms in the afternoon. And to wrap things up, here's a beautiful sunrise over Ongea Island in the Lau Group. A gift from Anna Arlo, who snapped this for us.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. Before we leave, our headlines once again. Fiji hosts major SPC meetings. New taxi co-op receives praise from Prime Minister today. And FEA says divestment of shares is part of ongoing restructure. Now on to our poll question this week. We ask, are you pleased with the 2014 national budget? To answer, visit www.fbc.com.fj. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's FBC News for tonight. Until tomorrow, good evening.
Today FM is awesome in Ba. We love you, Today FM.
Today FM rocks in the story, and I love listening to Today FM.
Today FM is #1 in Telev.
Today FM rocks in Lotaka. Woohoo!
Today FM is the most popular station in the scene.
We love everything about Today FM here at Golden Point Reki Reki.
Everybody in Singapore loves Today FM.
Today FM rocks in Ba.